Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. We have a 3v3 for all here on Lafayette, a very popular, map from Community Heroes 1 used for the Blitzkrieg mod. Let's go through the players. We have Captain Airstrike going straight out gate with Airborne Company for the United States of America, going straight for Airborne. That's an intriguing one. I personally did myself. We have Robertus also as the Airborne, okay. And we have Eugen also as the Airborne. Triple Airborne, this should be fascinating. Meanwhile, for the Germans, we have so as the Waffen-SS, whatever commander shit. Oh, he just picked something. Looks like it is Mechanisierte Tactics, okay. And we have Theo as Panzer Tactics for the Waffen-SS, and Bukos as Infanterie Division for the Wehrmacht. Infanterie Division is definitely a pretty good choice. Infantry Division is very good at several things. So we have a bunch of riflemen coming out here for the Airborne, but also some actual Airborne troops coming out for Captain Airstrike. Looks like they're going to rely more on the actual Airborne troops, which are very potent. They are like elite troops you can get out the gates as the United States if you're playing as Airborne. And basically beat any other basic infantry in the right conditions. Also a Pathfinder coming in. People that can sneak and set up beacons for the Airborne troops. I guess we'll have the first firefight here in the town shortly. With the rear echelon and riflemen getting close. 5 minutes to get behind that truck quickly. Looks like they will succeed in doing so. And that's a very good spot for them because it's fairly close range and they have semi-autos. That might actually be a Depth Storm Pioneer. Oh yeah, tried to jump the fence but got shot. First SS Storm Grenadiers are moving into the town though. Pullback and flanking. Ooh, that's looking good for the Germans, so the Americans got very aggressive as a faction. These Airborne could flank up here. Using this truck to their advantage. They could probably beat almost everything in that direction area. But the Americans are slowly just pushing up and securing a lot of territory here. Looks like the Infanterie Division is pushing up in this area. Lots of Volksgrenadiers on the field. You can arm the Volksgrenadiers with Sturmgewehrs if you're playing as Infanterie. It's a very handy upgrade. Pioneers are trying to push up behind this fence, but there's too much fire coming their way. Semi-automatic rifles on most weaponry or most units is a very dangerous prospect when fighting the United States. Makes them very lethal in close and medium range compared to other factions. You need to stay at long range to even have a chance. The advantage is the Airborne can also just heal out of combat, so you don't actually need to get medics back at base. You have lots of riflemen coming out here. Just riflemen from Robertus. That is a lot of troops. But at this kind of range here, I think the Germans might have the upper hand if it's a prolonged firefight. Ooh, flanked them from the rear with a grenade. We have the the Pathfinder sneaking up. But we have another Storm Grenadier back here to hold them back. We also have some Hitler Youth coming in, some cheaper troops available to Panzer Division. And you can see the Kar-98 rifle fire starting to pay off here at long range. In the cover-to-cover fighting. Ooh, Pathfinder's opening fire with a Springfield sniper rifle from a bush. Another good shot there, forcing the Storm Grenadiers to run off. These Pathfinders are very good actually at providing supporting fire. Now the actual Airborne troops are pushing up rapidly. Yeah, this fence can be really problematic because it forces you to retreat this way. So I don't know if Storm Pioneer might get out of there. Yeah, he does not. But Germans seem to have managed to push into the town again thanks to the Hitler Youth. And an MG42 on one of the Storm Grenadiers. And while we have an MG34 here. Yeah, MG34 for the Infanterie Division. We already have a tag up, which means that all the infantry and support teams for the Infanterie gets free veterancy. That's one of the perks. Double trucks coming in for the Waffen-SS to tag up. Oh! Storm Grenadier down. Germans are taking very heavy losses. Hitler Youth being equipped with MP40 is a good choice for the close quarters. SS Panzer actually gets a lot of MP40 choices, which could be kind of handy in this town, thinking about it. It looks like they cancel the MP40s. Volksgrenadiers still trying to hold up the flank here. But the United States do hold all the field points. I guess all these airborne vanguard troops have done their job. Now they just need to hold on until some kind of armor support might come. But airborne companies do not get a lot of armor choices. They do get the M10, so that's a neat little thing. Oh, we have a half track now arriving. That is the thing as playing Mattcasting. Your half tracks that cost no fuel, and there's no bazookas or any of these troops. Ooh, so that half track could be a very big problem. MD42 coming out on the Storm Grenadiers. But you could actually arm them with MG34s, 100 rounds, or actually both, because you're playing as Mattcasting. So that is a lot of machine guns on a single squad if you do that. Vertical deep driving about a bit. We have an Aufklar arriving for the Infanterie. Sturmgewehrs are starting to get handed out to the Volksgrenadiers. Very powerful upgrade available to all of the Volksgrenadiers if you're playing as Infanterie, obviously. Very powerful and potent upgrade.
The fresh mortar crew has arrived.
We have a mortar arriving here for the Infanterie as well. They're really going to prepare to use the hedgerows here to probably push up. Minefields have been laid, by the way. Nice to see. Covering their flank. That's kind of what the Germans want to do. Lots of Maschinengewehr arriving. Lots of MG34s. Looks like we have a straight takeoff for vehicles rather than the infantry. Oh, Gott, ja. Untersuchungsführer arriving for the Mechanisierte. But they also have an MG42 coming up here. Oh, Aufklar's Pathfinder's got spotted. But they probably had eyes on much of the front line here. They've had a big push in with MP40s from the SS units. Even the Storm Grenadiers have been armed with them. The MP40s are a very potent little weapon you can get if you are... Ooh, that vertical though, shredding them as they come for that little choke point. Yeah, there's a lack of AT weapons currently on the Americans, but we do have a recoilless rifle coming in here. That'll deal with the half track, no problem if it can hit. Now they have a new retreat path. Oh, the Airborne have been ordered to hold fire. That's cheeky. Now they open fire. Very good ambush there. Mowing down those Storm Grenadiers in seconds. But all the machine guns opening fire, and we have a command tank coming in too. But that is a lot of German machine guns. Probably should have stayed there. They are reinforcing thanks to the beacon that allows them to airdrop in reinforcements. However, that's not going to help them anymore, they are pinned. You generally don't want to airdrop in during battles, by the way. That's really bad, because your troops do get shot while they're airdropping in with no defense. More Americans are trying to flank here. I love that all the Americans were airborne. That's so unusual.
Serial down. Paratroopers ready.
Did they airdrop something? Huh. Oh, they airdropped an AT gun. Arrived in a very wrong spot, though. Artillery being called by the F1 here. Also by the Untersturmführer. A stop artillery strike in this area would completely disable it. Oh, we also have the French paratroopers trying to sneak up here. But they're being suppressed by the MG. So the French paratroopers did not really work off. That's gonna be a costly battle group loss, yeah. Poor French paratroopers. On the infantry flank, we do have a 222 and a lieutenant. Keeping an eye on the American position. Well, the bunkers, the mortar will keep firing. F1 quickly rushing around. Right there on the Storm Grenadiers. The Storm Furies quickly pushing up, but the Hitler Youth are able to secure the fuel points with a lot of effort. The Coils Rifles trying to hunt down the F1. Meanwhile, the infantry is pushing up here. Using the 222 into the advantage here. But the American riflemen are getting into another position. Artillery being called in. Sturmgewehr is covering the flank though. Building on fire. Looks like the Germans might have to pull back a little bit to get a healing station up. But they almost managed to push up there.
Our soldiers are trained to advance.
Meanwhile, looks like the Germans will be able to hold their fuel point finally. With a lot of effort.
Standing by. Crew, stand ready. Ready for action.
The Germans have a lot more of a mix of command as well. We'll give them a little bit more diversity in their troops and utility that way. But the Americans all being airborne might be potent in some cases. They will be very limited late game, I feel. Airborne's power tends to wane when you get to the late game, in my experience.
57mm AT gun now deployable.
Let's see. And Half-Tuck is actually doing a good job just supporting. You also have the 10th as arriving, unique infantry available to you if you're playing as a mechanisierte. Kind of meant to be unique Panzer Grenadiers. Very good for defensive purposes and a pretty cool unit. And Mice with 100 can get 100 round MG42s. It's a pretty damn potent weapon if you ask me. We have the first SS Panzer Grenadiers now coming in. Oh, hit the U for being shot up there by a 50 cal. They have to pull back. MG42 here is keeping the Airborne pinned, making it very hard for him to get around. Using the MG42s to suppress them quick. And mowing down the Airborne here. Not a good start. Well, actually, they had a good start. It's just now the Germans have actually managed to fight back. Let's see, we have lots of Volksgrenadiers still. Not all have been given Sturmgewehrs yet, but we have a medic bunker set up. No airborne troops from Eugen or Robertus. It's just relying on the riflemen, but the F1 is just pushing up slowly bit by bit. But an airdrop coming overhead with some munitions, okay. Germans are preparing for another push here, yep. 2 and the Lieutenant moving up. Both Koreans have engaged the Americans. The 2-2 is opening fire. There's an AT gun though. Hit it but didn't destroy it. Probably thanks to the Radpanzer there. Germans need to get behind cover of some kind. But the Germans are running the town meanwhile this is happening. The Waffen is pushing up aggressively. Oh, 2 Storm Grenadiers dying there. The F1 command tank is certainly helping. Both Grenadiers have to keep pulling back here. They're taking a bit too many losses. Do have an MG44 to cover their retreat though. Half track down. Completely missed that. But the F1 has allowed the Germans to push up here. Ray going under the mortar. F1 down. Looks like the AC got down here. Got it.
We have lost contact with a heavy tank.
Mortar did go down, I think.
Ready for action.
Americans have been unable to re-secure this point. We now have an airborne mortar present. Using a flare. Okay, that's gonna give them a good line of sight. And well, they have the 10 FSS down here just holding the ground. Some ALF class sneaking up. They've been spotted by the flare. Pack howitzer as well. That's definitely gonna be a threat.
Captain just took the battlefield.
We also have captains now arriving. Looks like the Airborne Lieutenant is still a 3-man squad. Fascinating. Honestly, I feel it's a little bit lackluster that the United States Airborne don't get the airstrikes anymore, but I guess it's just the officer change. Or it might not be implemented yet. I know it's still very early in the officer change. I'm a big fan of the officers having to stand still, use their abilities. But I do wish there was a little bit more of them, some variety, based on your commanders. Ooh! White landing shells just to disrupt. A2 Sherman has arrived with some more French paratroopers to support it. And the French are actually pretty decent if you can just utilize them correctly. They can actually sneak after all. It's really so early it just didn't work. We also have the 82nd. Wow, we have a lot of varied airborne forces. So a lot of the battle groups available from the United States have been called in. French Airborne, 82nd and 101st. What a town. This is like a big combined French-American airborne operation.
Listen up.
We also have an A2 down here. There's a Pack 40 though. Trying to be shielded by the Pack howitzer.
Pioneer Cooper is ready for action. Troops are good to go.
Artillery landing. I think most of this town is soon in ruins at this point. And a panzer strike on the ground. Which this light, which this Understood could grab. Or these first SS could also run up and grab it. Blitz arriving here to the front to allow reinforcement. Might be driving a little bit too far up though. Yeah, too far up, and now the Sherman got it. Artillery called in by the Hauptsturmführer here. They're just gonna keep sealing this part of the town. Also shells landing down there, lots of shells. And now shells landing here. Yeah, the 101st is pushing up here. Using the advantage of that Sherman now. Look like a high explosive and a Sturm Grenadier. Oh, only killed 2 though. Sherman pushing for the center here. Using smoke to its advantage. The Sherman is a very good support vehicle thanks to its smoke canisters. Also, we have a glider coming in from the 82nd now. Artillery going in here from the airborne officers. And the question is, where's this 82nd glider gonna land? Hey, that was pretty smooth landing. And now he can recruit 82nd Airborne from this. Which is a cool thing you can do from this, so you can like basically just rely on the 82nd. Rather than the 101st. Which is, I think is really cool. Airborne has a lot of cool little utilities to it. And well, the 101st is fighting very hard over here. And while the 82nd All-American might be preparing to push up shortly, alongside their own Sherman support. I think they were called the 82nd All-American because this unit recruited from all across the United States compared to other units which tend to recruit from a specific area. Or a specific state. I am not sure where the 101st was recruited from primarily. I know the 101st had a lot of very weird little traditions, like using Native American war paint or something when doing their drop. Like something of a little ritual they had going. And even Native American style mohawks and everything. US paratroopers had some very interesting little things about them. No, I don't know anything about the French paratroopers, I'm afraid. But I'm sure they had their own colorful history. We have lots of them, holy shit. I'm glad to see all the battle groups being utilized by them. So we actually just literally have 3 different airborne companies working together. 1 French and 2 American. So cool. I like when people do something like that, that's funny. Pax is getting some very good shots in now on the A2 from the 101st. 82nd is getting a lot of weapons, including Thompsons and Grease guns. They're preparing for an assault here. Even got gallon bombs. So the Pathfinder's gonna try and get some sight on the German positions again. There's no Aufklar to counter spot. Let's see how much sight they actually give him. And if he stands still, you can see how far I can actually see thanks to those Pathfinders. He has a very good idea of what's going on. Compared to the Germans, actually they can see that same area mostly, but they cannot spot them. They will spot them if they get close enough to that scope Sturmgewehr. I believe it increases the spotting range. No, it does not. It's the infrared scope that does. A2 is pushing up. That first squad might be in trouble.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Oh, ammo rack from the pack. Very nice shot. I might just have saved the German positions there for a little bit longer. Pillbox has been established. It's going to be a hard one to get rid of. You have some Panzerjägers here. Good shot. Didn't kill it though. Got an A2 coming in. I think the American infantry has to find a way to push up. And all the French paratroopers just scattered around at the moment. All of them have been armed with the French Brazil mitrailleur. And unfortunately, I'm not good at the French weaponry, I'm afraid. Which is essentially like a BAR and a Brin that's kind of modified together. It's very awkward looking. Looks like it's using the Bren gun model in the current game, which I guess makes sense. Artillery landing around the Sherman. More Sturmgewehrs being equipped to the first SS. No real surprise there. Now the 10th SS is having a little bit of a hard time here. A2 pushing up again. There's still 1 pack, but it needs to be... Oh, it might still be able to take out that pack crew. Yeah, it's dead. 10th SS is being overrun. But there's double pillbox, which is going to be hard for the infantry to get past. We do have a Panzerfortier arriving. Goes to Panzer IV for the Infanterie. Second Panzer IV coming up. You have stormtroopers and everything prepared as well. And lots of Sturmgewehrs. Artillery called in around the pillboxes. Although I think the pillboxes are very hard to kill now. The Panzer Division is trying to help the Mechanisierte down here. The Panzerjäger shot. Good shot right there. You probably give them elite training so they are more accurate. And reload faster. Honestly, you should always get the elite training in when you can, I feel. Because it's just a better upgrade for them. Also, they are harder to hit. They are a lot more survivable. Like 50% reduced hit chance is a very big deal. Oh, I think the Pathfinders are spotted now. Now the Germans know there are Pathfinders that keeps an eye on them. Oh great, it now get thrown. That's a bug that happens sometimes. It's annoying. Smoke shields going out from the Sherman. They're trying to repair the engine quick. The recoilless rifle is not having any luck against the Panzer IV-H. We have another Panzer IV-J arriving. And it looks like the second Panzer IV-H from the infantry is moving to help its SS allies.
Looks like we're going in.
76 Germans arriving now for the 82nd.
Armor here.
So we've been calling the 101st position.
Keep it short.
Oh, looked like an artillery strike. There were lots of supplies being airdropped in for the allies to utilize. That's the power of allied air superiority and air logistics.
Prepare yourself.
Let's see if this MG4 is firing. I'd probably still just attack grounding in an area. So we might have something of an armored engagement happening down here. As the Panzers are lining up. Player going into the allies know it's coming. Lots of fuel, and lots of munitions, I mean, there for the allies.
Panzer IV ready. Valiant assault is now at hand.
This time the Pathfinders have been spotted,
So wait your command.
probably thanks to a flare. E2 trying to push up here, but there is a Panzerjäger in the rear. Stormtroopers pushing up alongside the Panzer IV-H. Looks like we have Thunder Run on the A2s, which will definitely be good at dealing with the German infantry.
Sustaining fire.
Panzer IV-H here in the town now.
Panzer IV standing by.
One Sherman down there, thanks to the pack.
What are your orders? Standing by.
So we have a howitzer being established now for the Mthis here. This large German howitzer, 15 centimeter. I forgot what its name was. Like what the Germans nicknamed it, but it's definitely it's a really big gun. I think when this hits, the Americans gonna panic a little bit. Yeah, one good shot, they're destroying the airborne cam immediately. Now the allies know they have to act quick, because that is just gonna slowly decimate their front lines. Lots of re-echelon troops pushing up here. That's a lot of re-echelon. They're not gonna be equipped to deal with the front line like this. That's what J flanking. Had to get a good shot on that A2. Oh, it missed. But the pack got a shot from the center, but it got killed afterwards. He did not penetrate. Was it the 82nd? We're trying to push up here, but it didn't really work out. The Americans need to act quick because they're going to just slowly... Oh, they dropped in troops behind the line! And they got a satchel charge one of the trucks, but that's it. All those airborne are gonna die. But they took out the... well, they decrewed the howitzer and took out one truck. That's a pretty big move. They should probably have infiltrated further back if they could. And set up, like, beacons in the rear. And actually succeeded in setting up that beacon. But I think the Germans now know the allies are there. I completely missed it was like an airdrop. Jägers arriving now for the Wehrmacht. Not a unique recon unit available to you if you're playing as infantry. Very good at dealing with stealth units. Germans are gonna need repairs all across the board.
is now available.
Another howitzer being set up here by the Mattcasting division. And they've also recruited their old howitzer. But that is still a lot of firepower available to them. Like, these howitzers are pretty damn big. 15 centimeters, nothing to scoff at. German 76 is moving up slowly. Artillery called in around here. Artillery being called in by the airborne officers. Oh, they immobilized the Panzer IV from that. But the bunkers are not gonna be shaken a lot by that artillery. But the Allies need to make a push somewhere. We have six French paratroopers on the field now. And that 15 centimeters is just slowly killing things. Which I found the 76 though. Panzer IV H down. 76 German is generally a good choice against Panzer IVs. Hackstadt being very lucky here. But the pillboxes are going to be very hard to deal with as expected. High explosive there did not do enough damage, but a few more high explosive shots might do it. No, no damage there. It doesn't always do damage to hit them with high explosive, by the way. Like, as you can see, the concrete bunkers just refuse to get destroyed now. Which is, I think it's a good choice. They are meant to be very hard to deal with. They're also fairly costly, I believe. There we go, that was one that penetrated. Oh, well, the damage. More explosions are happening around here. Oh, I think all these American tanks might be in trouble. It looks like the Germans have established a fairly strong front line here. And meanwhile, I missed the 82nd when it pushed up a little bit, but the Stuck G and all the German infantry is just too much. Oh, I think I've activated one of the openings the Germans were waiting for. Oh, high explosive on the 76 to almost killing the Volksgrenadiers. The G pushing up. Oh, at this range, though, the 76 will have the advantage. He's claiming more of the cover. Good to see. You always want to have more line of sight. Oh, good shot from the 76. Firing through the Bukaj. As for Jason not having the best luck there. Lots of Shermans preparing to center here along with the French paratroopers. Pack opening fire now on the 76, good shot. Both of the French paratroopers are advancing. That's a pretty bad building to take. Too much fire going on it. Cannon bombs going out though, hitting the building, oh. Yeah, the French paratroopers have taken a lot of losses here. And the Shermans are pushing up now. Looks like the 82nd Airborne are going to push alongside them. Despite having both fuel points, the Allies have not been able to really capitalize on it because they're playing as Airborne, all of them. The biggest tank they get is the Sherman 76, but that's still decent, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And all the 82nd just got mowed down there. Oh, the sheer amount of weapons here provided by the Germans. Lots of shells landing everywhere. That's probably a dead 76. Yep. The longer this match is going to go, I think the Germans are slowly going to make a comeback here. I think one of first looks like they've been pushed back further as well. Probably to avoid being blown to bits by giant 15cm howitzers. Scavenging going on right as while this is happening. Packs and Panzer IVs are generally doing a pretty decent job against the tanks.
Taking fire.
50cm howitzer's turn, probably preparing to fire. Oh, it's firing. Probably firing around the town here. I can hear the shell coming. Oh, yeah, good shot. Didn't destroy the tanks, but immobilized the two of them and killed all engineers. This poor town is gonna disappear.
Ready, set.
Ooh, but I don't see how the Allies can push back from here. They are amassing a lot of Shermans, yes, but if they cannot break through, then the Germans might just have this in the back. They even have a Tiger tank coming up from the Panzer division. Second 50cm opening fire as well.
Echelon squad ready for action.
Oh, immobilizing all the Shermans. That's Duke has to be very careful. 76 coming up close. Missed. Panzer IV saved it, but that's Duke still needs to get out of there somehow. Looks like it's gonna get out of there. Even while the SS is preparing to push up again on the point down here. Looks like the Tiger tank has arrived as well. I would personally have gone for the Panther, I think, because they seem to have a very big lead at the moment. Probably get the Svea Panzerabteilung, and I go for a Panther. But the Tiger is still a pretty decent call. That 88mm will cut through any of the Shermans. But I think frontal armor is just very important, personally. But the 15cm are just killing everything. A very good utilization of the each other's advantages by having different commanders here. That's Stuckey's repairs and needs to be pulled further back, I feel. They are coming overhead. Critical gun repaired thanks to the open blitz. Panzer IV pushing up here. And Tiger tank now revealing itself. I think the Germans have the ability to just push through now. They have the tanks. Where's all the infantry? They have a lot of Panzer infantry spread around. They could also move up alongside the Panzers. Infantry could also supplement with their troops. They have all the means to push up now very aggressively. Even activating breakthroughs so they can actually decapture points and actually capture them. So now I think the SS should just advance.
Send your orders.
Panzer strike equipped here on the Hitler Youth. They found them on the ground. You could probably push further up here. There's not a lot to stop them, but they don't know that. Well, Stuck is preparing on the Mechanisierte front.
Crew, get ready.
Also, Stuck is has arrived for the Mechanisierte.
Stand to. Prepare for action.
Unit ready.
So the Tiger tank wants to help secure the fuel. Hitler Youth are being burned up from White Phosphorus Grade though, killing them. Jäger's pushing up here. And there's not a lot of 101st. They're scattered around though, which will help alleviate the issue from the 15cm. Oh, good shot from the 76 there. Oh, a double shot. Oh, crew dazed! That's not what you want to see happen to your Tiger, but it's still gonna make it through, I think. It's high health pool, and the 88 is just too much of a gun. You always want to keep it range. More Sherman's pushing up here, trying to deal with the Panzer IV GA. But the GA is identical to the H, apart from its turrets being hand crank rather than electrical. So still pretty decent arm and everything on the GA. Well, the 50cm shells just landing in the American and French lines. Unless the Allies can make a big breakthrough with the Shermans, I think they are not going to make it. The longer they wait, the worse it's looking.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
Well, looks like the Volksgrenadiers are going for it. Mine went off though. What do they call it on the Wehrmacht positions? They might want to pull back.
We have lost an MG team.
Tiger tank is veteran to 2 now. Probably thanks to the Kamkot center back at the base. This Tiger tank is going to get more and more dangerous. It's actually getting a Panzer Offizier to help it deal with enemy tanks, because it'll increase the weapon accuracy of the main gun. And the side range, but it doesn't get the MG on top then. Which I personally prefer having the MG on top, because it can really help deal with enemy infantry. Because we seem to do a lot of damage there. Oh, missed that shot. I wouldn't recommend trying to brawl with a Tiger at long range. Oh, Tiger tank needs to turn its turret. Oh, this shot got immobilized. Oh, we have an airborne operation going on in the rear. Guess it is kind of one of the few things they can do effectively at this point. Especially if they coordinate it. Yeah, several 101st troops are landing.
Change of plans. Airborne on the ground. Jump complete.
Also, the Jaeger's gonna move to deal with it. I don't think one Jaeger squad will be enough to deal with all these Americans. We have another airdrop coming in.
Steady up, man. Hit the dirt.
The Pathfinder's lands, they can set up a beacon, I imagine. Because now they actually have an airborne behind their lines they have to worry about. An airborne behind a line can be pretty powerful, actually. This town is just completely ruined. Now, if they can set up a beacon here, they could just start operating from behind. They'd have to get troops in now because they control this point. Okay. So now the Germans have to divert troops to deal with it. I like to see this. This is cool. Stormtroops also diverted northwards. Beacon going up to allow the airborne to just paratrop in. But the airborne are lacking in the machine guns. They've just been armed with bazookas, probably expecting the tanks to come for them. This is just a waste of manpower at the moment. They're losing a lot of troops. Airborne are very expensive to replenish like this. Officers pushing up aggressively. They'll probably throw a grenade over here if they want. Yeah, because these airborne troops are just being mowed down. Yeah, most of the airborne have just been mowed down here thanks to the MG42s. This was kind of a failed little operation, but it was cool to see while it lasted. You know, the Shermans are going to try and make a push again here. Here comes the Shermans. Lots of air recon coming over the battlefields. Let's have a big combined air operation now going on. But there's just too many German tanks here, led by a Tiger. And also the Germans might just push up now, but there is still more Germans coming in. Their flank has been covered though. Oh, they're getting close to the Tiger here. They've been marking it. Oh, they damaged the engine. And there's such a charge going on in the Tiger. It's been dazed. And Tiger down.
Heavy armor has been lost.
Composite B. Oh, that's another satchel charge. Destroying the Stuka up here, I think. Yep, but at the loss of themselves. But the Allies can push through now. They destroyed the Tiger. They just need to act on it. They destroyed a lot of the German armor in very quick succession. Also, we have a Beuterpanzer now. The Germans have grabbed in desperation. We do have a command pan for arriving. This thing might be very hard for them to deal with. And the 15 centimeters still just wreaking havoc on the Allied front line.
The troops await your command. Ready to execute.
And these 15 centimeters have just done so much damage. Yeah, the big howitzers are very costly, but very powerful, in case you were wondering. I would not call it OP, it's just very... You allowed them to get to that point. You do not want to allow an officer which... a commander with good artillery to get to that point. That's kind of their power, that's kind of meant to be what their boon is. And Mattcasting, I think, is the only German commander, even for between the Wehrmacht and the Waffen-SS, that gets the 15 centimeter. That's kind of their big selling point, I think, alongside all the mechanized infantry. Because they don't get Tigers or Panthers or anything. Very defensive and artillery-oriented commander. Recon got spotted here by the Jaegers. And now they're keeping a Sturm Pioneer back here. Oh man, look at all these bodies still. They're just setting up a cache. But I think this might be over for the Allies. They did do a very brave attempt. And they did take down the Tiger. Which in itself is impressive. Because the Fu's opening fire again. The Allies just, the Axis just seem to be coordinating a lot. Hello, Eugen. Hello. This has certainly been quite a battle to follow, I'll say that. I don't think Saul should Should apologize. It's kind of what his command is themed around. Mthis is kind of meant to be the artillery commander. Actually, Sturm is also meant to be that. But Mthis just gets the heavier guns, I guess. I should probably play Mthis more. I like Mthis. It's very good utility and very good artillery late game. More Shermans driving alongside M10s. Looks like the allies are preparing for one final attempt here. Well, here they go, I think. They need to act quickly on it. Telemines are being laid. Boy, Panzer is also present. Here they go, one last attempt. Mark the command panther. And they got a command pad for good time with the 76s. But the Pakistan to 10 him a new one. Killer mine went off on the M10. Boy, the Panzer working off here. Panzer's wreck and 50cm shells going in. Okay, well, this is happening. Another airborne operation is going on, but they're being shot as they are landing. That's the danger of dropping in a hot zone. The allies are still trying to push up here. Decrude the Boider Panzer. Panzer 48 decrude. They might still be able to push through if they can get very lucky here. It's turned into quite an armored engagement over here.
Everyone here? We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out. Incoming fire! Damn it, optics hit!
That's right, got that one. Panzerjäger's done a good job for themselves. And good job for this Panzerjäger. This ship's being very lucky. There we go, there it goes. But I think that might have been the last breath from the Allies. I think this combined operations might have failed. The German defense was just too good. And now the German counterattack is going to begin shortly. Yeah, at this point the Allies pull back. This was a pretty intense match. Triple airborne. That's not something I see every day. I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Bye bye.